Okay, I know it's April and we're moving on to a new content topic, but I need to finish up my emotion regulation series with the last step of regulating your emotions. So we've named our feelings, we've sat with our feelings and approached them with curiosity, we've learned from them. Now is the step where we actually do something about it. This step we could call coping with or managing your emotions. So, this is the step where we take control of how we feel and how we are going to choose to respond to it. We could also call this emotion focused coping. And in this step, we're going to look at our thoughts, our body, and then our actions. So, let's look at our thoughts first. If in the last step, when you were getting curious about your feelings, let's say you recognized that right before you started feeling anxious, you noticed in your thoughts that you were imagining your next doctor's appointment going really poorly. Doctor's appointment. So, one way you might try to regulate that feeling of anxiety, manage it, or cope with it might be to shift your thoughts to utilizing more positive self talk. Maybe in your thoughts, consider what would it look like if that doctor's appointment went well. Maybe you try imagining that the doctor is kind to you and compassionate and caring. There are thought strategies, mindset strategies, and perspective taking strategies that can help with this. I'm not going to share them all here, but positive self talk, gratitude practice in your thoughts, shifting to the opposite perspective of what feels scariest to you, these types of strategies can help with this part of emotion regulation. The next part is body focus stuff. We call these somatic exercises, but if you think of emotions like a cascade, then this is the bottom up part, right? Where your body is feeling the sensations that come with that emotion. So, in the body focus side of emotion regulation, this is where we're going to be doing things to soothe whatever those sensations were that you noticed in the last step. So, if you're feeling keyed up and anxious, you want to do things that soothe and relax. If you're feeling really low and sluggish, you want to do things that activate you a little bit more. So, think of these as antidotes to the sensations that you're feeling in your body that feel uncomfortable or unpleasant. You're trying to do things with your body to try and shift them to another sensation that is more easily managed. My personal favorites are exercise, not heavy exercise, just some light physical activity, and dancing. There was actually a study that showed that dancing was like the best antidepressant that you could do. So the next is our actions. What actions do we want to take? They could be actions based on our thinking. They could be actions based on whatever's going on in our body. But let's say I was feeling really angry, and in my actions, I was actually yelling at someone that I care about. I want to find another action that actually fits with how I feel about them, not necessarily how I feel in this moment based on this thing that was happening before. Maybe what I do is I say, what would my actions look like if I were coming at this from a place of love and compassion instead of from a place of anger? Sometimes the action could also be to walk away. Let me go to another room and take some time for myself. Let me go step outside and then do some body focused regulation, right? We want to choose our actions carefully because whatever our actions are, those actions, those choices, those physical movements in our body also send messages back up to our brain that can either shift the emotion to something more pleasant or calm and soothing, or if we continue to choose and seek out actions that only perpetuate that emotion, it will keep the emotion going, keep us cycling through it, and sometimes amplify the emotion. And that's not what we want. We want to get ourselves to a place where we can choose more mindful actions that will not only serve to regulate our emotions, but also reflect our values and what we care about better. So I hope this little series of emotion regulation tips helped for our March content topic of emotion related experiences with chronic illness. This month, April, that we're in now, is going to focus on chronic illness related grief. So feel free to drop your questions in the comments, anything you want me to answer this month, and I will get to work on them.